Sleater-Kinney grew to prominence in the 90s for being named after a street. And before you think to yourself, that's a terrible idea, why don't you try saying that to the faces of a little-known band by the name of Parkway Drive? You wouldn't, because they'd cut your fucking tongue out. But Matt, don't you wish that we were reviewing seminal concept single It's Hard to Speak Without a Tongue?
Sleater-Kinney. So, classic record. Dig Me Out was, of course, their breakthrough hit, their runaway hit that really broke them onto the world stage. They were a local band, just a bunch of mates writing a few songs in a garage, and then all of a sudden, they're the next Madonna.
It's a punk banger record, and it's full of great, catchy hooks and great guitar riffs.
Yeah.
For example, the first riff on the album goes, and then all the other instruments come in.
Yeah, it's some incredible guitar interplay here, post-punk with like a pop edge. The vocals are great.
Sleater-Kinney came at the tail end of the Riot Grrl movement, which was sort of a movement which was about how women can be in bands too, and they can be good. I'll tell you what, it definitely wasn't a movement about spelling, if you see the way that they spell the word girl. Because I'm very open-minded, so it was very exciting to me to hear about. They are a feminist band. It's sort of interesting how in history we had a man on the moon, and then 30 years later we had popular bands where everyone was a woman, you know? So it felt like that was kind of, it happened in the right order.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess next we could put a woman on the moon.
Yeah. Probably not ready for that though yet.
But it's funny because I was reading a lot of the YouTube commenters talking about this album, and there was one YouTube commenter who's really interesting. He sort of said, there weren't any women in the Beatles, and that was kind of interesting because I'd never sort of taken that spin on it.
Yeah,
and
interesting.
Then, you sort of started thinking that there's no women in the Rolling Stones, and there's no women in the Velvet Underground.
There is a woman. Mo Tucker is a woman. The drummer in the Velvet Underground is a woman.
Yeah. It's a punk rock album, which is, it's sort of like rock and roll, but it's a bit more raw. It's jagged.
Absolutely. Staccato.
Well, that's interesting. That's from your musical training?
Yeah.
So did you like the album, Matt?
Yeah, I love it. I've listened to 3 Sleater-Kinney records, and this was my favourite. I'd say. It's
basically sort of probably the best one for your punk bangers, you know what I mean? We're talking 3-minute hits, and I was quite surprised to find out today that actually one of these songs on the album is about the breakup of the 2 front women in the band who dated.
Breakup is a band killer, I'd say.
Yeah, if we dated between, the Kraftwerk episode of At The Music and the Sleater-Kinney episode of At The Music, I think this would have been a fucking shambles.
To be honest, you probably would have left. I would have continued it because I'm kind of the backbone of the show. That would probably be my one criticism. Overall, it's a perfect record. I wouldn't change it, but it probably just needed a bit more star power. Maybe if they had Brian Ferry.
Rod Stewart, what's he up to these days?
He's dead, I think.
You can just imagine him on it though, can't you? Coming in.
If you think I'm sexy, come on, man.
Winning, if you think I'm sexy. Instead of Dig Me Out, it should have been Dig Rod Stewart Out.
I love this record. It's my favourite Sleater-Kinney record. For me, it's probably looking at a 4 Zac and half a Gotchy.
4 Zac and half a Gotchy record. Could have been a 5 Zacka if Kerry Brownstein had read my notes.
Gotcha.
Well guys, another week, another great episode of At The Music. Next week's episode is shaping up to be our best one yet. That's right, it's Carole King's Tap Tap Tapestry. So tune in.
Did you say that we're doing Carole King's Tapestry next week?
Yeah. The right-wing audience is not going to like that. Should have scoured the Breitbart forums for a better choice.